So Port Authority is another one of those places in Manhattan that nobody really likes, but we have to deal with it if we want to have access to the buses. Now, like I said, New York City is basically the bus capital of Manhattan. It is called Port Authority Bus Terminal, technically, but nobody calls it that. Everyone just calls it Port Authority. So if you're asking somebody about it or talking about it, just call it Port Authority. So if you're coming in and out of New Jersey and you're not taking a train, you're probably going to be coming into Port Authority on a bus. It's very, very common for people to use this form of transportation. Could honestly even be more common than taking a train in New Jersey. That's how many buses come in from New Jersey into Port Authority. When you get off at Port Authority, you can switch to the subways at 42nd Street right there, like a ton of different subways that will take you pretty much anywhere you need to go in New York City. So I don't know if you know this, but Port Authority is actually considered the busiest bus station in the entire world. I had no idea. Before making this video, I was like taking a look at Port Authority's website and some different like sources, and I was like, wow, I had no idea. But if you're there on primetime hours, it can feel like that because there's just so many people there. So how do you get a bus ticket? You can get a bus ticket at any of the kiosks in Port Authority, or you can just purchase it on your phone as well, which I would recommend because sometimes the kiosks are a little finicky, so you can get a bus ticket there as well. Now, it is a little tricky to figure out the bus system and to figure out what bus and what stop you're getting off of. So you can do research online, like on the actual site, and figure out exactly what stop and what bus you need to take. Because after doing this for many years in New Jersey, I do have to say it can be a little confusing, and I was confused a lot of the times. So why don't people like Port Authority? So to be honest, it's definitely not the prettiest station in the world for sure. It might be the busiest, but it's definitely not the prettiest. It's very basic looking, and I honestly would probably say in comparison to all the stations in New York City, it's probably a little bit better than Penn Station. Not by much. It's definitely very bare bones. You do have some food, like places inside where you can grab a quick bite to eat, but really nothing special or fancy about it at all. It's also in a very busy area of New York City. It's right on 8th Avenue on 42nd Street. So because of that, sometimes people can get frustrated because it can be really convenient or really annoying depending on where you need to go in the city. So I say really convenient because 42nd Street is like a major hub of New York City. It's probably the busiest street in all of New York City. So because of that, you can catch, like I said, a subway anywhere in New York City or get pretty much anywhere from there. But at the same time, 42nd Street also has a bunch of tourists and a bunch of commuter traffic. So it could be annoying as well if you just want to be in and out of the city very quickly and not deal with crowds. I would also say if you're taking a bus late at night, Port Authority, sometimes not the best area. I've definitely taken late night buses back to New Jersey, and I would say I was in my young 20s at that point. I was fine, but I definitely didn't love it. Wasn't my favorite thing to do. So just keep that in mind as well. Also, another thing to note is that if you are taking a bus to another like major city or somewhere else in the country, you might also be taking the bus out of Port Authority. There's another area in Port Authority that has these type of buses as well. So it's not just like New Jersey. So that's something to note as well. So I hope that helped you get like a general understanding of Port Authority. If you guys have any questions or anything you want to add to this video, please feel free to leave it in the comments because as always, I love hearing from you guys.